What is the approximation of irrational numbers? Have you ever wondered how we deal with numbers that seem impossible to pin down? Today, we are going to talk about irrational numbers and how we approximate them. These numbers cannot be expressed as a simple fraction of two whole numbers. Their decimal forms go on forever without repeating, which makes them quite unique in the world of mathematics. For instance, take the number pi. It starts with 3.1 for 159, but it continues infinitely. Because we cannot write it down completely, we often use approximations to make calculations easier. When we work with irrational numbers, we relying on these approximations to help us out. One common method for approximating an irrational number is using decimal expansions. We can truncate or round the number to a specific number of digits. For pi, we might use 3.14 or even 3.1 for 1/6 for more precision. The more digits we include, the closer we get to the actual value. Another way to approximate is by using rational numbers that are close to the irrational number. A popular example is using 22/7 as an approximation for pi. While it is not exact, it is often good enough for many calculations. We can also use calculators or numerical methods to find decimal values of irrational numbers. These tools can give us the precision we need for our calculations. However, it is important to remember that these approximations are just that, estimates that help us work with numbers that cannot be fully captured. In algebra, understanding how to approximate irrational numbers is very helpful. For example, when we deal with square roots of non-perfect squares like the square root of 2 or the square root of 5, we need to use approximations. These numbers also have decimal forms that go on forever, so we relying on rounded values to make our calculations manageable. Using approximations allows us to perform operations involving irrational numbers without getting lost in infinite decimals. Even though we cannot express these numbers exactly, we can still work with them effectively by using close estimates. So, the next time you encounter an irrational number, remember that approximations are your best friend. They help us navigate the fascinating world of numbers and operations, making complex calculations simpler and more approachable.